Now this is Pod Racing. Welcome back to Bizarre Podcast Dogs Must Die. We are talking about episodes 9 through 11 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable.
You know, we're doing 3 episodes at a time, and we got left off in a cliffhanger last time.
And we're going to leave you the same way.
Yep. It's if I checked later episodes, and eventually it all lines up for the most part. Last episode, we ended on the cliffhanger of Yukako Yamagishi Falls in Love, Part 1. So we're starting off with Part 2 here. Oops! Where's Koichi? Everyone's real worried.
It starts with Josuke and Okuyasu just calling everyone they can think of, including his family. Nobody knows where he's at.
Yep.
So Josuke just intuits with his detective senses that he has been kidnapped and time is likely running short.
Mm-hmm. The police aren't involved quite yet because Koichi's parents are just starting to get concerned enough to call the police. So I guess he's been gone less than a day, maybe? I don't know.
The phone's going to keep on ringing. As far as I know, there was only one cop in town and he died.
Yeah. Okay, Koichi must have been kidnapped. This is a matter of life and death, but who could have done it? And the camera whip pans back to this house that Koichi is trapped in. And he's outside of the room he was stuck in now, in the hallway outside, and he's really gotta piss.
He's doing the potty dance, doing it hard.
He's doing the potty dance, and Yukako has put a combination lock on the bathroom door with a quiz question on it that will give him the answer.
The question is, when did Columbus discover the new world? So the combination on the lock is 1492.
Yeah.
This is literally from a TV show.
Oh, is it?
I mean, okay, it's from 2 TV shows now, but one of them, the other, is a reality program called The World's Most Smartest Model.
Okay.
And so it was a modeling / smartness competition. It was very degrading. It was very belittling to all of the members, especially it's a very international cast. Why should they all have to know when Columbus sailed? Especially because the key code to the other restroom was 1776, and a great deal of them were not United States Americans.
When was this show? This sounds and feels like something in the mid 2000s.
2007.
Okay, yeah.
11 episodes on VH1, baby.
Oh, yeah, VH1. That makes sense. That's fucked up. I don't like that.
It was bad. It was very bad.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, Koichi is dialing in, or trying to dial in the answer, and the animation of his pee dance just keeps rapidly speeding up.
He keeps thinking that Columbus sailed about 30 years early. 20 to 30 years.
Yeah, and he's about to start turning the last digit on the lock, and he just stops because he pisses himself.
I mean, Plan B is still on the table. Okuyasu is fist pumping right now, and he doesn't know why.
Yeah.
Koichi almost gets it because he's trying to remember the movie 1492. It was 2.5 hours long. It starred Gerard Depardieu. It was a little old for a teenager in 1999 to care about it, but maybe, maybe he's really into Ridley Scott.
Maybe. The show hasn't really given us any idea of what Koichi's hobbies may be, but maybe he's into old movies.
Yeah.
So we get the OP, and it's using that EDM remix of the theme song, which is only for this 2-parter, if I remember correctly. Still weird. Koichi is an embarrassed sad boy for pissing himself, and Yukako knows, and she has done the laundry for him and even cleaned his pissy underwear. And Koichi's just in the background, just sulking.
He's really sad about it. He's very embarrassed. He's dejected. And Yukako notices and asks, "Oh, is there something wrong? Is there a problem?" Yeah, lady, you kidnapped me. That's a problem.
It's fucked up.
That is not his answer. His answer is about, how gross he is. And it's just, It's not supposed to happen to a young man his age.
Yeah.
But it's okay, buddy. People still like Otacon. You will bounce back. It's fine.
You know what? I think that made people like Otacon more, honestly. How many people would pee their pants if they saw a cyber anime ninja trying to kill them? I would.
You know what? I will commit right here and now. If I ever see a cyborg anime ninja try to kill me, you have my word.
All right. Like, same for me. Like, it'll happen. It'll happen if that ever happens to me. Yukako is being a little less insane in this scene. She's kind of calm during this part. And Koichi just asks her, I peed my pants. Why do you like me?
So she leans in with her eyes glowing with purple flame,
Yes.
As she talks about how, this is a bonding moment. They're now joined closer than ever, and she wants to learn everything there is to know about him.
Yeah, she loves that she just cleaned his piss-stained underwear. Like, this makes her like him more.
An intimate domestic moment has made her heart swell.
Yeah. I believe she said something like, it doesn't matter if it's excretion or mucus, it'll bring us closer together or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
When I was washing your underpants, I felt very happy.
In sickness or in health, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. After she tells Koichi that, she just, leaves. Oh, wait, no, she doesn't leave. I forgot about this.
No, she introduces the next lesson, opens the door, and behind it, what's she been doing this whole time? Putting the finishing touches on her electric chair?
Yeah, she just opens the door, and it's almost like it's fucking Price is Right or some game show, like what's behind door number 2, and it's a fucking ancient-looking electric chair that's already powered on, and you can see electricity arcing off of it.
Koichi, I know you're a nice, good boy who doesn't want to, cause any sort of collateral damage, but once the electric chair is in play, you can break a window. That's allowed.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yep. And so after she reveals that, she walks out the door and says, hey, I'm going to make an Italian dish for dinner tonight. I got to go get some olive oil. And she leaves. And this is when, Koichi immediately turns around and starts banging on the window like, holy shit, this already sucked, but I really got to get out of here now.
But he's banging out of, frustration the same way you'd bang against a wall. He's not trying to break it.
Yeah. He's trying to think of how to get out of here, and the camera pulls out so we see more of the area around this house he's in, and it's near a beach. It's kind of high up on this cliff face, and the hill goes down to the shore.
It is a seaside vacation home after all. But then we cut over to the boys huddling around their Morio street map.
Yeah, while Okuyasu is snacking on shit. I love that they're trying to find their friend who's been kidnapped, but you still gotta... It looks like he's eating something similar to Dunkaroos. He's dipping something in a frosting.
You can't be doing detective work on an empty stomach.
Oh, I'm sorry. It actually looks like it's not a little snack you dip. It's a tiny little spoon, but it just looks like he's eating a can of frosting. Which does sound like an Okuyasu thing.
He's having a little Yoplait fruit on the bottom, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, they're trying to figure out where Koichi could possibly be, and the transition back to Koichi is just Koichi's head lifts up from the bottom and covers the whole frame, and now we're back in the house.
So the little wheels in his head start to turn. He exercises the little gray cells to figure out, wait a minute, she can't be going to the store. She wouldn't risk leaving me.
Okay, so she's not going to leave the premises, so that must mean she's doing something like grocery delivery, which means she's got to call a grocery store. But the phone lines in the house are cut.
So she must be going to a nearby payphone. And if the nearby payphone is near enough, I can use echoes to also call.
Yeah. And so you see echoes shoot out of the top of the house. He starts surveying the area, and there's a payphone it's 48 meters away, and his maximum range is 50. So it's just barely in range.
So Echoes picks up the handset and then realizes He doesn't have a dime. He cannot pay the payphone. Oh, no.
Oh, no. And he's like, oh, shit. Should I call, 110 is the Japanese equivalent. Okay, if I call 110, the cops will come, but then Yukako might kill the cops. And so he's getting worried, and he's got his back to the window. And while he's panicking about this, Yukako just appears behind him outside.
No time to think it through, because she's right there again, every time.
And yeah, she's just like, you're thinking of using the payphone, aren't you? I told you I was going to buy olive oil, but that was a fucking trick. I wanted to see what you would do. And yeah, she puts everything together, including he doesn't have 10 yen and all this stuff. Although she doesn't know he's trying to do this with a stand. She just thinks he has this idea he's going to do himself.
But obviously he doesn't have the cash because he's in stolen pajamas because he ruined his own pajamas. He has no money.
Yeah. And Yukako asks him, right before she leaves, to actually use the payphone to order groceries. She's just like, oh, do you want anything else from the store? And he's just like, no.
So she walks down the block to the corner to the payphone, and as she picks up the receiver, there's suddenly a beep boop beep.
Yeah.
Before she even pushes the buttons, because Koichi is a phone freaker.
Yeah, he phone freaks with the stand.
That's one of his hobbies.
He used echoes to touch her arm to put the beep boop beep sound effect, and it is the beep boop beeps needed to phone freak to call Josuke's house.
Josuke picks up and immediately thinks, this must be for my buddy who's in trouble, and starts listening to the environment because Yukiko is immediately like, what is this bullshit? I have no idea what just happened, but it seems this ain't the grocery store. I gotta hang up real quick.
Yeah, and so Josuke only gets a couple seconds to listen to the phone call before it gets hung up, but he does hear the ocean. He can hear waves crashing up against something. And that, plus Josuke's a very good knowledge of where payphones exist in Morio. I mean, I guess it's the 90s, and you don't got cell phones, or at least they're not, widespread yet. I think Morio is small, but sometimes it feels gigantic. So maybe he could actually narrow it down to where would a payphone be where you can also hear ocean waves, because he figures the precise point right away.
Well, the neighborhood.
The neighborhood, yeah.
He's definitely hanging out in those swanky, in the vacation home subdivision.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Yukiko's own thoughts are churning because as a stain user, she doesn't just hear the beep boop beeps. She can see the beep boop graffiti on her arm.
Yeah.
And knows that Koichi has some manner of superpowers. So, she's just thinking like, oh, you got a power, I got a power, we're soulmates. Now shower with this cheese grater for some reason because I love you or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so she's marching back up to the house, and she tries to open the front door, and she can't because Koichi has barricaded it with the electric chair and a dresser. That dresser looks big and made out of wood. He is a strong little guy.
He's a strong little guy that also is a little bit of Kevin McAllister, because when she tries to grab the door handle, the electric chair shocks her.
Right,
because he's unwound the electric leads in order to make that sort of booby trap.
Yeah.
Also, the screen transition here is a Yukiko wipe. The wipe follows her walking across the screen from the map to her march back up the hill. It's very good.
So yeah, right before she touches the door handle and gets shocked, she's just so overjoyed about Koichi having some type of power like her. She touches the knob, gets shocked a little bit, and now she's super pissed. She turns around briefly because she hears something, and it's Echoes, who is holding the Japanese characters for "I hate you."
And it looks adorable.
Yeah, it's like big bubble letters. "I hate you." And so Echoes tosses it at her. It sticks to her, and she just keeps hearing Koichi screaming "I hate you" over and over again in her head,
trying to do the same hypnotic effect that he did to his mother a few episodes earlier.
Yeah.
And so Furious 7 leaves us with the thesis that you cannot tell someone they love you. And this is the exact opposite. You cannot tell someone that they don't love you.
Because at first, Yukako is kind of reeling, like putting her hands up to her head, like, this is so loud and stuff. But she calms down and just looks straight at the camera, like stone-faced, and she's like, this just shit ain't gonna work on me. And the I hate you characters peel off her face like a sticker.
It's very good. So she has another monologue from out on the porch that like, hey, you're gonna love me or else I might murder you.
Yes.
You're just now getting to this point? What was the electric chair for? Is that feng shui? What do you mean now you might murder him?
Yeah, she starts telling this monologue as her hair has, through cracks in the door and other stuff, been able to get inside the house, and it has grabbed Koichi by the scalp and yanks him back so hard, he goes flying into a china cabinet, which fucks him up, and he's like bleeding all over now.
And this is the worst possible moment for Echoes to get real sleepy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just a little baby Stan. He just hatched like a week ago.
Yeah, like Yukako has been able to crack open the door a little bit now, so she's peering through that crack, and her hair is like coming out in big tendrils wrapping around the door. Yeah, Echoes he looks crispy. He's gotten all brown and shriveled up, and he's like curled up in a little ball. It, kind of cocoon-like, maybe?
Yeah.
Koichi is freaking out like, oh my god, my stand died. This is the worst thing to happen right now.
Stands are a representation of like your fighting spirit and your soul's, will. And apparently my soul is shitty and dead. Oh fuck, this is bad.
Yeah, and Yukako sees this thing too, and she's like, what the fuck is that? She hears Koichi call it a stand, and she's just like, what the fuck is a stand? That thing?
Your superpower is a little guy? Your little guy's fucked up.
He sucks. And so she's trying like extra hard to open the door all the way now, so her hair is wrapping around the big wooden dresser to yank it out of the way. And as she's doing this, she notices Koichi hasn't noticed it because Echoes is behind him, that the like cocoon it's turned into is starting to smoke and steam up, and then it starts cracking and splitting open.
He never notices. 2 for 2 when his stand is hatching.
Yeah. Yukako is able to fling all the stuff barricading the door out of the way with her hair. When she walks in, she just points at the empty like husk that used to be Echoes that's like steaming now. And she's like, where the fuck did it go? What's that?
A good relationship is all about communication. She deserves to know. He ought to tell her.
Yeah.
But instead of Echoes, we have what is now called Echoes Act 2, the metamorphosis, the evolution of Echoes. And this is a Zoc. That is what Echoes has turned into.
Yes, it is.
The MSM-10 Zoc. It's a fucking aquatic-ass Xeon mobile suit of a Stan.
Yeah. He's actually like a little smaller than Echoes Act 1. But yeah, he's a little more humanoid now. He's got the little heart knee pads like Dio did for some reason.
And full legs.
Yeah. He stands upright now. But yeah, he looks like a little mobile suit of some sort for sure. Yeah, we immediately start seeing a change in its powers.
Because this time, Echoes wants to show off. Like, Echoes wants Koichi to know what he can do, instead of, like, eventually figuring it out. So as soon as Yukiko, like, busts in and stands up inside the door, face to face, she's immediately blown backward by a powerful, mighty wind.
Yeah, and Echoes itself is like super fast now. It just teleports from the corner of the room to behind Koichi like instantly. Yeah, Yukako goes flying from this gust of wind, and Koichi notices that on the door that she was, standing right by, there's another onomatopoeia stuck to it that's like whoosh. And he touches it, and when he touches the sound effect, that gust of wind comes out again. So now his onomatopoeias are like touch activated, with the trade-off of that they're way more powerful now.
Yeah, instead of being able to create the sound that the word is, they're able to create the reality that makes the sound that the word is.
Yeah. And you see, like, the way the sound effects are made now is a little different, too, because you see Echoes Act 2, like, grab the words off the door, and it pulls it off and turns it into, like, a 3D sphere, which it then, like, massages back into the tip of its tail, which almost kind of looks like a pen nib now.
Yeah, it looks like a pen nib or the thing above a Sim's head.
Yeah, the plumb bob.
Yeah.
So yeah, the sound effect is made out of its like the tip of its tail now that it can detach. Mm-hmm.
And they live in the tail. It comes out of the tail, it goes into the tail. It's just, he's got word storage in there. There's a whole dictionary in that tail.
She doesn't get hurt by this. She just got blown really far away. So she's, much farther outside in the yard now. She's getting super pissed off. She starts talking out loud, establishing that, like, Koichi, you brought my eye twitch back. This is a tick I've had since I was a little kid, where when I get real pissed off, I can't stop my eye from twitching.
I mean, that sounds like a you problem, because Koichi's too busy. Every time he gets a new stand, he gets a new hairstyle. This is tradition.
Yep.
He is getting rid of Yukiko's stand's influence in his scalp by giving himself a haircut, and now he has his own version of the JoJo flat top.
Yeah.
But instead of straight up, like many of its previous wearers have been, he's got sort of it's an angle. Like like you could nestle basketballs in his head.
Yeah. He's got some tood. He's folding his arms. He's telling Yukako, like, hey, I'm not going to take this shit anymore. And Yukako is just like, okay, well, I'm going to have to put you in your place, mister. And she takes a step up the porch, touches the railing, and burns the shit out of her hand because Echo's Act 2 has put sound effects on there. That's just like sizzle.
He's a little trap master is what he is.
Yukako just, like, full force shoots out all of her hair, like, in a way we haven't seen before, because there's just massive tendrils, like, crashing through every part of the house and is about to pull the entire house down. And when she does that, Echoes throws its tail tip again, but completely, like, whiffs it, just, like, misses Yukako entirely.
But there's a lot of fun stuff in this exchange. Like, he says that now that they've seen one another's souls through their stands, that Yukiko has a dark and vindictive soul.
When Yukako is talking to Koichi, she even says, like, hey, I already figured out how your stand works. I knocked that onomatopoeia out of the way. You can't do anything to defend yourself now. And she wraps him up, and he's, like, suspended midair, just wrapped up in her hair. And that's when the bang happens.
Well, at least they got to bang. So yeah, she's busted in, tied him up entirely, with activated the big bang on his back, the big back bang, and then flung away in what appears like final defeat as her hair has gone shock white, and now Koichi, victorious, thinks to himself, she might be a deranged, love-obsessed, matted mess of a she-devil, but I guess she should be happy.
Yeah. Like, he uses Echoes to float over towards her and, like, check for a heartbeat. And he's just like, I'm glad she's still alive. Like, I don't want to kill her. Then Yukako wakes up and her hair shoots out and wraps up Echoes real tight. And Koichi starts coughing up blood.
And then another great line from Yukiko. I'm going to rip out your insides and feed them to you as you choke on my merciless love.
Yes. Yeah. Isn't there something around here, too, where she talks about his shitty little dick or something? I could have sworn she insults Koichi's dick or something.
That's not very nice. That's not nice at all. I mean, neither is tearing out somebody's insides. None of this is very nice.
Yeah.
Koichi tries to defend himself, and the tip of Echoes' tail is knocked into the sea, but he pleads with her to, hey, let me go, because the ground here is unstable. There's going to be a rock slide, I think, and you could fall into the ocean. That would be very, very bad. And she's like, I'm not buying this shit, you lying little sneaky cheat. I know your traps are psychological now. I shall see through this.
Yeah.
But guess what? It wasn't a trap. It was true.
Yep. Yeah, the cliff face, like, collapses and she goes falling down to the ocean below, which has a whole lot of, really sharp, pointy-ass rocks. And she is about to fall on the biggest one. The sharpest, biggest one.
The biggest, pointiest, sharpest one, because she can't let go of Koichi to grab onto something else with her hair and move to safety. She is so obsessed and possessive that she would die, except this is the part where they boing.
Yeah, the tip of Echoes' tail, when it got knocked off, that was the plan, because the tip then landed on the rocks, the pointy rocks below, and wrote Sproing. So when she comes into contact with it, they're really springy and squishy, and so she just lands on it, it gets all compressed, and then it just Sproings her back up onto the cliff face, and she's fine.
This is about the time when Josuke and Oyakasu find them. They've been in the neighborhood for a while, trying to go door to door. There have been plan Bs where Koichi's trying to mess up the house, so it's clearly obvious this is the house where a fight's happening, and he gets prevented from doing that.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been important because Koichi, in the end, takes care of all this by himself.
Yeah, there is a bit where they figure out which house it is, and it's just Okuyasu and Josuke looking at the house that's glowing purple and covered in evil hair, and they're like, "Oh, that's got to be the one."
Yeah.
Yeah, they just find Koichi after the fight's over, and they're just like, "Are you okay? You all right, little guy?"
And it's fine. As they walk away, Yukiko thinks to herself and has a bit of a moment of growth, of development.
A little bit.
Because she is still desperately and madly in love and obsessed with Koichi, but it is more for the man that he has proven himself to be, than this idealized, potential that she imagines he could be. And you know what? We're going to call that a win. We're going to say that's a step forward.
Yeah, that's a little step forward.
Everyone immediately hightails it away from the mad woman, regardless.
Yeah, it's still probably pretty unhealthy behavior, but it's a little less unhealthy. And as they're leaving, the camera pulls out, and we see two guys on a sailboat in the water. They're like, "Did you see that shit?" Because they saw Yukako fall on that rock and then Sproing right back up.
One of them cries out, quote, "Well, I'll be a seagull's beak."
Yeah.
That's some great sailor talk there.
I believe that is the one that is drinking a shitload and is super drunk.
So the narrator tells us about the legend of Boing Boing Cape.
Yes.
An urban legend begun by a pair of two sailors who talk about this tragic tale of a overwhelmed young woman trying to end it all, only to be rescued by very boingy, springy rocks.
Yeah. So this is the second time the Adventures of JoJo and Friends has created an urban legend in the town, and I believe this is an ongoing thing that happens at least a couple more times.
Keep Morio weird.
Yeah, totally.
It's not like it needs the help. It's very weird.
Yeah. The camera pans up to the sky, and we transition to the next day, and Koichi's at school, and hey, his grades are good again. He got 100.
He got a perfect score on that test.
Yep. Yeah, Koichi is thinking to himself, man, feelings are so complicated. And that's the end of the episode.
Yukiko's stand is never named in these episodes.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about it now. It is called Love Deluxe, named for the 1992 Sade album.
Right.
Sade, of course, king of the slow jams. If you were having sex in 1992, it sounded like Love Deluxe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right, folks, you've been waiting for it. Here comes episode 10. Let's go eat some Italian food.
Oh, that's just the episode title. When you first see it, it's like, okay, we have to be in for a good one, right? when it's called that.
So our cold open is just we're shrouded in darkness, listening to knives being sharpened. And this dark, shadowy figure slams a carving knife into some meat, and guts ooze out. And this is meal prep as presented in a PETA ad.
Yeah. As evil as can possibly be, a moonlit night, chopping up this meat with organs spilling out.
Meanwhile, Josuke and Oyakasu are planning out their day together, a day that includes visiting Keicho's grave.
Yes.
But a long day of paying your respects does make one hungry, so they're going to check out the new Italian place that went up right near the graveyard.
The spookiest Italian place.
Josuke thinks that restaurants don't belong near cemeteries, which makes no sense to me because every funeral includes a luncheon. Death and eating are tightly bound.
Yeah. But yeah, Okuyasu is extremely into the idea of this new Italian place. He is mimicking what he believes people must say when they go to this new place, which is to drool and shake and sweat profusely and vibrate And so he's just begging Josuke, like, please, let's go. Let's get some fucking Italian. He's like, okay.
The only food left in his house is little cups of yogurt.
Yeah, he's starving.
Keicho did all the shopping.
Yeah, Okuyasu's a growing boy, and he needs more than Gogurt.
So they come upon Trattoria Tussardi, which is a quaint dining room, you might say. It's very cozy.
Yeah.
It seats like 8 people. It's so small in there.
Yeah. This place looks like a little family-based restaurant that was built 80 years ago, except it was just built.
And the family like lives above in the second story that's like vinyl siding because the first floor is all brick. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those style of places.
And they're very confused at all these signs about how like meals are made to order or everything is personalized. They get inside and there's no menu, which is strange. And they're greeted not by waitstaff, but by the chef himself, Captain America in chef gear.
Yeah, this guy's name is Tonio.
Tonio Trendy in the English, but Tonio Trussardi, named for the Trussardi fashion house of Milan.
Right. Yeah, I believe this is the first character in JoJo that's named after fashion stuff, but this will be a thing that comes up more frequently the further we go into this part, and especially part 5. But yeah, Tonio is here, actual Italian man who is moved to Japan.
But just like an impossibly handsome, picture-perfect, clean-cut, white blonde European man.
Yes.
Clearly ripped as hell underneath that chef's smock.
Oh, yeah. And this is a guy who is always smiling, like with his eyes closed. He's that type of guy. Yeah, after he pulls out the chairs, he sits them down. He's kind of given them a short version of his whole life story. He's traveled all over the world. He's sampled all these different cuisines. He wants to improve Italian cuisine, and so when he came to Japan, he decided, what if I try to infuse Italian food with some Japanese flavor?
And he really enjoys Morio for the seafood, for the nearby farms. He's doing the whole farm to table thing.
Japanese Italian fusion. I haven't tried it, but in the place I live in, there is a Japanese Italian fusion restaurant. I've always been meaning to try it, partially because of this episode. I'm like, could this work?
This episode would make me a little wary, but there are some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
But basically the idea is, this is the first time we've had a JoJo part that doesn't travel. So instead the world has to come to JoJo.
Yeah.
I mean, even if part 1 was just a couple different spots in England, they did go on a carriage ride.
Yeah. Josuke is kind of skeptical of the Italian food, but Okuyasu is fucking into it. And he's just like, hey, I want the menu. And Tonio's just like, there's no menu, man. Okuyasu immediately gets like belligerent, like, what the fuck do you mean there's no menu? I said, show us the menu.
Customer's always right. Customer wants a menu. Come on, cough it up, big man. What's your problem?
And so Tonio explains that's not how it works here. Tonio takes a look at each individual customer and makes dishes for them accordingly.
So that's why this dining room is so small. Every meal requires a personal consultation.
Yeah.
There's no way he can work in volume.
Yeah, so Okuyasu like stands up and like raises a hand at him, just like, what the fuck is this bullshit? And Tonio looks at Okuyasu's hand and he goes, oh, you had diarrhea last night, didn't you?
If someone can tell from your hand that you had diarrhea last night, you gotta wash those better.
You gotta...
That's fucked up.
Yeah, ugh, Okuyasu, you gotta wash your nails too, like.
But that's not where it ends. He continues just gazing at Okuyasu's palms, first one, then the other, finds that yes, he's had intestinal distress and also lost a lot of sleep. He's got foot fungus. He's got a stiff shoulder. He diagnoses all of these things just from looking at his hands.
Oh, yeah, 2 cavities as well.
Yes, yes.
And Okuyasu is just like, how the fuck did you know all that? Everything is correct.
Josuke is skeptical every time he's offered to like, do you want to eat? No, I don't want to eat. Do you want me to look at your hands? No, I don't want to. No, thank you.
Yeah, no thanks. All Josuke wants is a coffee. But before Tonio leaves to get the coffee, he pours them both a glass of water. And then when he leaves, Josuke is just like, hey man, I am not into this whole like healthy food thing. If this food is bullshit, we can just leave without paying.
He has similar beliefs about paying in restaurants to his nephew. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. After they both agree that if the food sucks, they'll just complain and leave. Okuyasu takes a little sip of this glass of water, and he goes like, whoa, holy shit. Josuke, you got to try the water. It's so good.
The thing you have to realize is Okuyasu has never drank water before. It's just been all high C his whole life.
Yeah. Ecto Cooler has yet to be discontinued, so I think he might be living off of that. But yeah, he starts describing how good this water is. Is it like mineral water? He doesn't know. It's the water is so elegant. He takes another sip and it's just like,
quote, it's overwhelming with sophistication. It's something a mountain princess playing the harp would drink as she strums a beautiful melody.
Yeah.
Presumably through a straw. Harps are a two-handed instrument.
Yeah, and as he's describing this, like you got like a cut down the middle, like two different shots. You got Okuyasu, who is losing his mind, and then you got a close-up of the glass of water, and the picture he is painting is being reflected in the glass of water.
It's very good. It's very good. This water is so good it makes you cry.
Yeah, Josuke takes a sip and he's like, wow, this water is pretty good. Okuyasu just like chugs. He just chugs the water.
And he keeps crying because it keeps being so good. He keeps crying. Oh my god, he's still crying. Much like Hideo Kojima in Allergy Season, the tears will not stop falling.
And this isn't a normal amount of tears. This is just like a shit ton of water just gushing, and Josuke's just like, whoa, are you okay? That's a lot of tears. And then the tears kick it up another notch, just massive, like almost viscous looking amounts of water,
and his eyeballs deflate.
Yeah, the water is so forcefully ejecting from his tear ducts that his eyes, in a super disgusting, highly detailed close-up shot, his eyes shrivel up. They collapse. It's so fucking gross.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have to pay. This seems bad.
And this is where Tonio comes out. He's holding a plate of salad, and he says, oh, don't panic. The shriveling of his eyes is only temporary. That water that they're drinking is from the very peak of Mount Kilimanjaro. It's from ice that melted 50,000 years ago.
It is an insomnia cure. It restores all of the lost vitality that Okuyasu didn't get from his rough sleep lately.
Yeah, Josuke is like standing up, about to like punch Tonio or something, but Okuyasu is like, hey, Josuke, I feel great! And his eyes are normal again.
He's so fresh and clean.
Yeah, he feels wonderful. His sleep, he feels like he's gotten a perfect 8 hours of sleep.
He says that he hasn't cried that much since the last time he watched The Champ on video.
Right.
Starts doing a bunch of boxing moves. Like, this seems like it could be a Rocky reference changed in localization, but no, The Champ is a real Zeffirelli film from 1979 that one might cry at.
Wow, okay.
Again, I don't know why Okuyasu is watching this 20-year-old movie from his perspective.
It is literally the only movie in the entire Spooky Mansion. It was from the previous owners.
But it's basically The Wrestler, but with boxing, for generally like what the plot is about.
Okay, all right.
Let's not worry about how much he cried over his various, say, family tragedies. We're going to skip over that one. Yeah, just talk about the movie and the water. Okay, yeah. Okay.
And so, yeah, Okuyasu's fine. He's, like, really peppy now. And so he sits back down, and Josuke, he's still on edge, but he's like, oh, okay, maybe that was just really good water, I guess.
So it's time for the next course, the salad course, and Tonio has brought out a caprese salad, alternating slices of tomato and fresh mozzarella drizzled in oil. Classic Italian food shit.
Yep.
And it comes out with a whole lot of text on screen. I don't know if that's a recipe. I don't know if that's nutrition information or like food history explaining what caprese salad is to the audience.
I really wish that stuff had been translated.
Because Okuyasu needs an explainer. He does not know what mozzarella is.
Yeah, he has no fucking clue.
He pronounces it mozaza.
Yeah, mozaza. And so, yeah, Tonio's got to fucking explain to him what the hell mozz is. Everyone in Italy loves it. Italians were also the first to use tomatoes in their cooking. Did you know that, Okuyasu?
Get this colonial-ass bullshit out of my face. No, they weren't. The Aztec people and their forebears domesticated the tomato 2,000 years before European contact. Fuck you.
I didn't know that.
You can't call a New World vegetable, something that the Italians cooked with first. You just can't.
Damn you and your Italian pride, Tonio. So yeah, he tells Okuyasu, just try it out. You gotta, it's good. And so Okuyasu just takes a little slice off of one mozzarella, and chews it. And it's just like, yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good, but I don't know. It doesn't have a whole lot of flavor or anything. And Tonio's like, no. You're supposed to eat it with a tomato, dumbass. Like, both. You put both in there in your mouth at the same time.
And he's like, oh, okay, seems weird, but whenever I microwave my kids' cuisine, everything is in its separate little compartments. But if you insist... So yeah, he pops in a bite with both halves of the salad, drizzled in the oil and the herbs. And again, it's the greatest thing he's ever had. He starts describing it in like these, he starts giving tasting notes and metaphors. And please, you'll have to excuse my friend. He just watched Ratatouille. He's very excited.
He says the two flavors combining is like a symphony or something like a Simon and Garfunkel duet.
Yeah.
That's how good this salad is. It's like Simon and Garfunkel.
The first time Okuyasu ever saw a boob, it was in The Graduate.
Yep. He also says it's something like Ochan and Nanchan, which I think is like some type of Japanese comedy duet or music duet. Or it's like Ashita no Jo, drawn by Tetsuya Chiba.
Yeah.
The fucking, is that the boxing?
Yes.
Manga? Yes. Yep.
The reason every hot-blooded anime boy points to the sky, yes.
Yep.
So this means that every student character has now made a manga reference but Josuke.
Yeah. He's too busy playing his N64 to read manga, I think.
Read a book, JoJo. Get with the program.
And so now that Okuyasu is, standing up out of his chair, screaming to the heavens at how good this caprese salad is, Josuke has grabbed his fork and knife, and he's just like, yo, can I have a bite of that? I want to try some. And Okuyasu's like, fuck off! This is my salad! No! It's like taking it off the table and raising it to the sky so that Josuke can't reach it. Saying, like, you cannot get any of the salad. Even if you were about to starve to death, I would give you none of the salad. It's so good.
But then he becomes very itchy. He's an itchy boy.
Yep.
And as he starts scratching at, his shoulder, where his shoulder meets his neck, he's gouging deep grooves and just huge, sloughed, raggedy-edged sheets of skin are coming off, and it fills this dining room like a snow globe of skin. Josuke starts balling up the skin, and it forms like a large softball.
Yeah, a softball worth of Okuyasu's skin that he's just peeling off of his body. And like the direction of the scene is just like pure insanity because the music is just going nuts. Okuyasu is like feverishly at Mach speed tearing away at the skin. Tonio is like warning Josuke like, you can't eat that salad because you don't have a stiff shoulder. It's for the guy with the stiff shoulder. And like Okuyasu is digging so hard into his shoulder now that he's like exposing the muscle underneath his skin.
See, the caprese salad has supercharged Okuyasu's blood flow and metabolism to promote new growth at such a speed that essentially the muscles and skin of his stiff shoulder and neck have been entirely rejuvenated and replaced by brand new growth that is limber and supple. And in order to do that, all the old has to be expelled all at once. The fact that your symptoms are compounding and getting much, much worse means that the healing has begun. Yes. This is what naturopaths actually believe.
Yeah. And every time Tonio is explaining what this food is doing, you keep getting more and more like very evil, creepy close-ups of his face. Everything keeps going to shadow anytime Tonio starts talking about the mechanics of his food. But yeah, after Okuyasu's like, scraping away at skin and muscle, all of a sudden, hey, he's completely fine. He's super limber. He can raise one arm and lower one arm and make his hands touch behind his back. He's so flexible now.
He can turn his body into the cool S. Yes.
Yeah. And so Tonio's just like, well, I'm happy that you enjoyed the salad. And he picks up the salad plate, which now is just housing the gigantic ball of skin that Okuyasu scraped off.
What's he going to do with that skin ball? I don't like this.
What are you going to do with this skin ball?
No.
And so he takes that plate back into the kitchen where he is going to prepare the next course of the meal. And Josuke is super suspicious of this guy now.
Yeah. So our mid-episode title card, they aren't all stands. Sometimes they are Morio landmarks.
Yes, yeah.
This one is for, of course, Trattoria Trussardi.
I wish you could read all that Japanese text. I wish they translated that.
So back in the episode, it is time for the primo pasto, the pasta course. And so he brings out spaghetti puttanesca.
Yeah.
The translation is treated differently between the sub and the dub.
The sub is harlot spaghetti. In the English dub,
horror pasta. Excuse me?
Yeah. This is apparently a dish that was originally made by sex workers and other hardworking women that, hey, it's really fucking good.
Just somehow found the meeting point between affordable ingredients, relatively simple to make, and tasty as hell.
Yeah.
The impossible thing in high cuisine. They figured it out. Good job.
Yep.
I mean, that is literally what puttanesca, translates to. But come on. There's a reason we call it puttanesca.
Yeah. Tonio's explaining that, hey, this is a pasta that does a weird thing. Normally, you don't put cheese on pasta that's got garlic on it, but this one does both.
And Okuyasu's like, hell yeah, give me some of that. Wait a minute. I see red pepper flakes in this, and I am a spice baby. You cannot give red pepper flakes to me, the spice baby.
There's also a little bit here where Tony's explaining what type of sauce is being used and the history of the sauce, and it comes from Naples, which is where he's from. Man, this is such a food tourism episode. Araki just ate some good ass Italian food at some point. It's like, fuck, I want to write about this.
Okuyasu has, the spaghetti wound around his fork, and he's sticking his tongue out to just barely touch it, as if the spaghetti will bite back.
Yeah. And yeah, his tongue barely touches the spaghetti. He's like, holy fuck, it's so spicy! And he's got to start chugging the water. And Josuke is just like, if you can't handle spicy food, they just don't fucking eat it. He's really grumpy looking. He makes eye contact with Tonio, who also makes eye contact with Josuke, and he just gets really pissed off for a second before his face morphs back into that smile he does.
Don't be such a killjoy. Let him eat the pasta that makes him shit himself inside out or whatever.
Yeah.
Just let him do it.
Yeah, so Tonio just leaves, but as he's leaving, he says just my spicy spaghetti is made for people who can't even handle spicy stuff. You'll love it. You should just try it. And so yeah, Okuyasu is sweating. He's so worried about the spicy food. But Josuke's just don't you think there's something fucking really weird about this restaurant? It's really fucking weird. You've basically died twice after eating the food.
That is the thing about this episode. Since stands mean anything can be a fight, therefore anything can be made to look like a fight.
Yeah.
You can eat so hard your body explodes. Why not?
And so Josuke brings up the thing that was brought up 2 or 3 episodes ago by Hazamata, the short little kid with the puppet stand. It's do you remember what he said? Stand users are bound together by fate. We will constantly encounter other stand users. So this guy has got to be one. There's no other reason why you would explode after eating spaghetti. So, this is really suspicious. So don't eat that spaghetti, Okuyasu.
And he responds, but I can't stop licking this spaghetti.
And he keeps going fuck, it's too spicy. I hate spicy food. But for some reason, I just can't stop licking this spaghetti.
So yeah, he just dives in. He starts eating the spaghetti. There are flowing strains of pasta with hyper-streaked backgrounds. Okuyasu is grunting like a maddened beast.
Yeah, he just can't stop eating the spaghetti. He's going insane eating the spaghetti.
Until his teeth shoot out like bullets.
Yeah, he opens up his mouth and like one tooth is like starting to vibrate and yeah, just fires out like a bullet. It lodges into the table, like the root gets stuck into the table, and hey, it's one of my teeth that's got a cavity, and he's got more than one cavity, so he like goes like, "Ah, fuck my mouth!" And then his other tooth that's got a cavity shoots at such high velocity that it gets lodged into the ceiling above them. And then Okuyasu starts screaming in pain more as like Josuke is just basically watching in horror as you see a brand new tooth just start to emerge and push out of Okuyasu's gums. It's so gross.
Oh, it's very bad. It's very, very gross. But Josuke has the idea to like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on here. Let's get down to business. And he uses Crazy Diamond to punch the spaghetti and then repair the spaghetti into the constituent ingredients of spaghetti.
Yeah. So something I want to bring up here.
He punches it until it turns into like tomatoes and grain and this little stand of Tonio's. But yes, please go ahead.
So for the anime and even other like merchandise and other JoJo stuff, every JoJo kind of has one iconic pose from some panel in the manga that gets used in all of the marketing. Like this is the pose of Jotaro and stuff. And usually those poses are from a really climactic moment or iconic moment. The iconic pose for Josuke is not from any fight. It is from the panel where Crazy Diamond is getting ready to punch spaghetti. That is the pose that is used for Josuke and Crazy Diamond in like all the marketing. It's so funny. Like it looks like a serious fight, but no, he's just punching spaghetti.
So yes, we've filtered out the stand in the spaghetti, and they're little radish goblins. It's sort of a swarm stand of radish, tomato, garlic fusions with little gremlin faces.
Yeah, they got little arms, and when they make eye contact with them, they just go like, "Heh!" and then they just fly away back into the kitchen. They got little awful teeth. Yeah, they're creepy little goblin guys.
So part 4 enemy stands love to violate the body, right? They want to get swallowed. They want to get into your scalp. They want to pop out of your chest.
And so, yeah, as Josuke is getting ready to follow the stands, Okuyasu just kind of collapses to the floor like, fuck, my stomach is killing me. So Josuke is just like, okay, just stay right there. I'm going to go into the kitchen and figure out what the fuck is going on here.
So he goes into the kitchen, which is clearly evil because it's all desaturated and there's this shadow filter that's constantly moving over everything.
It's very, very dimly lit in the kitchen. It's lit like a horror movie in here.
And Tonio is making the meat course, the entree coming up next. And there's a little puppy. There's an adorable tiny puppy.
This is the cutest puppy in all of JoJo.
It's got like it's sort of medium brown, but it's got the light brown smudges for its eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this little guy. And it explodes.
Yeah, Tonio...
It explodes and all of its guts come out.
Yeah. I loved your tweet from a few days ago when you were first watching this episode, and you just took a screenshot of your notes that just says, puppy, it exploded. Frowny face. Yeah, Tonio's is feeding the little puppy the main entree to test it out before he gives it to Okuyasu. It's lamb and applesauce.
Or an apple relish in the dub, which makes it seem more fancy than applesauce.
Yeah. Yeah, the puppy's eating it and he blows up. His guts shoot out of his mouth, and then 10 seconds later, the rest of his guts explode out of his tummy.
Yeah. In the meantime, Chef Tonio notices that Josuke is there and is exploding in rage at the violation of kitchen privacy as the puppy does explode more in a much more literal sense.
Oh, man. So Tonio throws one of his knives at Josuke, and it gets lodged in the molding right next to him, and he's just like stomping towards Josuke. He's with a very like highly rendered, detailed, angry, like rageful expression on his face. And just like, did you see? Did you see what I do here? Did you see? And as Josuke is like, fuck, we're about to get into a stand fight for real, he notices that Okuyasu has made his way into the kitchen.
Because he wants his goddamn lamb shank, motherfucker.
He is double fisting this. He's got a lamb in each hand, and he's just alternating between each one with his cheeks just like bulging full of lamb. He's just like, it's so fucking good. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. And then his stomach explodes.
I want Okuyasu's voice actor to get an award just for the way he says pure ecstasy.
Pure ecstasy. Yeah, it's so funny.
It's so good.
It's so funny. He's really good at selling that Okuyasu is basically going insane from how good the food is. But yeah, his stomach explodes. And Okuyasu in slow motion says, "My intestines!" as his intestines fly out of his body.
What if the dinner scene from Alien was like Five Diamond fine cuisine?
Yeah. As Josuke is trying to run to Okuyasu to save him, blood is just gushing out of Okuyasu's guts as Okuyasu screams, "My stomach is dying!" And then he starts profusely vomiting blood as well. As Josuke is trying to like save him, we see Tonio is sneaking up behind Josuke, seemingly lifting a brick up into the air to crush Josuke's skull with.
But then it turns out this was a comedy episode all along. Here's the punchline. It's just soap.
It's a big-ass bar of soap.
He's just real angry at Josuke for violating his sterile kitchen, coming in without washing his hands.
Yeah.
That's all that he's angry about. And he's so serious about foodborne illness. He's a nice, friendly guy. Never mind that the dog in Okuyasu totally exploded and there's blood everywhere.
Or there would be, because Josuke, like, who's completely dumbfounded now, just holding this big-ass bar of soap in both hands. He just turns around and looks at Okuyasu, and he's just like, man, I feel so good!
And best of all, my diarrhea tummy's all better.
Yeah.
And we see that the puppy is happy and healthy for once. For once.
Yeah, the puppy was tasting this food because the puppy also had stomach issues, and so Tonio just wanted to see if the dish would fix the tummy issues.
Yeah, and if it was good. This is a more unusual flavor profile that he doesn't usually work with.
Yeah.
I don't know why the dog's opinion is so valuable. I've seen some things that dogs choose to eat.
Josuke is just, like, still, like, sweat on his face, just super dumbfounded. He's just like, you just wanted Okuyasu to eat good food? And Tonio's just like, what else would I fucking want? I'm a chef, dude.
So yeah, it's a very all's well that ends well ending. Josuke, for his penance, is set to cleaning.
Yep.
It's yet another, filling out all the possible boxes. What if we had a stand fight where both sides didn't realize they weren't in one?
Yeah, and what if the enemy stand user of the week was actually just a nice guy and he wasn't trying to fight at all? Tonio doesn't know what stands are. He just knows he has a power to make good food that heals people. So both Josuke and Okuyasu show off their stands like, this is what a stand is, and he's just like, oh my god, I didn't know other people had these. So Tonio isn't even a guy that got struck by the bow and arrow. He's just a dude who had a stand naturally and realized he had one while he was like touring the world and experiencing fine cuisine everywhere.
So of course stand magnetism in his travels eventually brought him to Morio, the stand capital of the world.
Yeah. And also, the name of Tonio's stand is Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam, or Pole Jam.
Pole Jam. Yeah.
Very, very bad. So when this was initially published, only Pearl Jam's debut album would have been out to be used as a namesake. They were very new. But then again, that's all of their most famous songs are on that one.
Yep.
Alive, Jeremy, Even Flow. If you know a few Pearl Jam songs, they're all on the first album. So we're still not done. There's a bit of a button on the end of this one, because while Josuke is cleaning, Okuyasu still has the dessert course to go, and it starts with him being too manly to eat flanley.
Yeah.
But he eventually has some of that sweet, sweet custard, and it cures his athlete's foot.
Yay.
And I'm glad we don't see what that looks like.
Oh, God. That must have been a nightmare. Yeah, all of his toenails will fall out or something too. Like, God, Josuke, he's annoyed because he's got to clean up the kitchen now, and Tonio just kind of like bows at the camera as the camera pulls out of the restaurant and the door closes.
But meanwhile, in a different part of the city, Jotaro sits down at a park bench, and right behind him on the opposite park bench, because this is a place with 360-degree views. You gotta look at everything in this park. There is a behatted Speedwagon secret agent
who's voiced by the narrator. It's the same guy.
He's on his smoke break from the radio station.
Yeah. This guy gets around.
So they're having this clandestine meeting out in public because being near phone or power lines, they're too dangerous with Chili Pepper on the loose. But this message must get through. Grandpa's coming to town, baby.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Joseph Joestar is coming to town. He's got a message to deliver personally.
Coming tomorrow at noon.
Yeah, he's coming on a boat, and the end of this episode is just like a really high up aerial shot of this boat, and it goes down, and we only see Joseph from behind, and he looks a lot older. Like he's wearing a hat, he's got a coat on, can't really see him too much, but he's much smaller, he's hunched over, he's got a cane. And yeah, that is the cliffhanger for episode 10. Joseph Joestar is coming back, baby.
That brings us to episode 11, Red Hot Chili Pepper Part 1, which begins with Josuke begging his mom for 5 more minutes of Nintendo 64 because he is playing Gradius.
Yeah, it's straight up just Gradius. It has the exact same UI. Clearly the power-ups work the same way.
But he must be early on because nothing is like a biological horror nightmare.
Yeah, he's just shooting
all the spaceships.
Yeah, it's like literally the boss of that first level or whatever.
And she kicks him until he loses.
Yeah, it's a really funny scene of his mom just like, fuck, stop playing video games, stop playing video games, stop playing video games, quit it. And Josuke is just, they're both talking at the same time, like just overlapping each other. Josuke is just like, I really gotta fucking beat the level, mom.
I would also be pretty focused, considering Gradius 4 was in development for the Nintendo 64, but was canceled and never released.
Oh, man.
So that's why he's so invested. This is a rare piece of software.
Yeah. So yeah, his mom kicks him hard enough so that he loses, and he just turns the N64 off. You know, he's getting ready to leave, but the TV turns on.
And it is this romance where a man and a woman are saying very serious things under a street lamp until the man starts talking about Jotaro. And like, what if that was a script, though? What if it was just a wild coincidence?
The dialogue of the movie is, bringing up Jotaro and stuff. And Josuke notices in the background of the scene, Red Hot Chili Pepper is just hanging out. He's in the movie. And so Chili Pepper just shoots out of the TV screen, like immediately ready to fuck Josuke up.
See, this is why your mom wants to limit your screen time. She is looking out for you.
So yeah, Red Hot Chili Pepper is in Josuke's house and has revealed that he's basically been keeping tabs on everybody through TVs and other stuff.
He mentions every stand user, not just JoJo and his pals, but also Yukiko and Hazamada, like everybody.
Yeah.
Not Tonio, I guess. He doesn't think the chef is a threat.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Make me eat great food? But yeah, he's been keeping tabs on everybody. Essentially, Red Chili Pepper has come here to kill Josuke right here and now.
Well, what he really wants to do is get rid of Jotaro.
Yeah.
And so he wants to face off against Crazy Diamond first as a Star Platinum scrimmage match because... Yeah. They're pretty evenly matched in the punch business. He's just super terrified of the time stopping. So he's got to figure out how to beat up someone who is like crazy, who is Star Platinum's physical match, and then think of a way to get around his special power.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just asking Josuke, like, just fucking punch me, give me your best shot. And so he gets decked in the face super fast, and Red Chili Pepper's just like, uh-oh.
Yeah, careful what you wish for, Bird Boy, because he gets rocked.
Yeah, he gets the 1,000 punches all at once, and gets fucked up.
But then you got to remember, Chili Pepper is electric fast.
Yeah,
he ducks and dives, and then comes in for a hit that just knocks Josuke across the room. His ankle gets tangled in the cords and unplugs his N64.
Yep. Josuke's mom hears all the ruckus and she's about to come in. Basically all the furniture in the room has been annihilated. from this very short fight. Chili Pepper has decided that, he needs to wait a little bit longer. He needs to get a little bit more strong before he can actually fight Jotaro. So he just leaves through an electrical outlet.
And Josuke has just enough time to use stand magic to put everything back in its proper place before Mom opens the door.
Yeah. And so when she comes in, Josuke's just like, nothing happened. You're just hearing shit. I don't know. So it's time for a meeting with the whole main cast.
A stand summit out in the countryside. They're going to have a team building exercise. They're going to do trust falls out in the woods.
Yeah, so they're out in like a big field where there's no power lines or other sources of electricity. Yeah, Jotaro has summoned them all there.
He's the last to arrive though. So yeah, Koichi came on his bike. Okuyasu apparently has a motorcycle.
Really a fucking sweet motorcycle too.
Right?
Like, this is looks like something he just leased. Like today.
JoJo just like walks up and then they're like, hey, why'd you call us here? And he's like, I didn't. He did, because Jotaro walks up behind.
Yeah. I keep thinking that Okuyasu like got that motorcycle just to show up in style for this meeting. Like he didn't have that before today.
It is the initial appearance of the motorcycle after all.
Yeah. So yeah, Jotaro has summoned everyone to talk about Chili Pepper. And when Chili Pepper is brought up, this makes Okuyasu really pissed off.
Deadly serious. He is growling whenever someone mentions that stand's name.
He's snapping twigs off of trees and bushes. He's real upset when he hears any mention of Chili Pepper.
So yeah, they talk about what Josuke just learned, the surveillance strategy. Koichi blames him for homework that went missing.
Yeah.
Sorry, teacher, my friend's brother's murderer ate my homework. I don't think that's going to fly.
Yeah. So yeah, they're trying to come up with a plan on like what to do about Chili Pepper here.
And it turns out there's already a plan in the works. Jotaro delivers the message that he really called them for that was so secret they had to be far away from any listening ears coming out of power lines or whatever. There is a special stand user being come in who can find people who don't want to be found with his particular stand called Hermit Purple.
Mm-hmm. Jotaro's, it's almost like 20 questions here in this scene because Jotaro keeps giving more and more specific details about who this user is.
That he's super old, even though he used to be pretty studly.
Yeah, and everyone's like, who could this guy be?
How old is he? And then Jotaro gives a fucking medical history. Like, age really caught up with him over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Cataracts, gallbladder surgery, dementia.
Yep. He wears full dentures. He's mad that he can't eat T-bone steaks now.
That sounds like my Joseph. Yep.
Yeah, they're still not quite putting it together.
Until Koichi figures it out, because the final clue that puts it together for him is when they reveal that, he's coming in by ship because he's from overseas. And Koichi's like, wait a minute, a foreigner and a stand user who's 79 years old? Josuke, do you know what this means?
Yeah, and right before they're about to say Joseph's name, oops, Chili Pepper heard all of this because he is hiding in the battery of the motorcycle.
He jumps out before getting an actual given name. He could have waited just a second, but he was so excited to learn that, yes, he's coming in on a boat to the harbor tomorrow noon, which means that this is happening the same day as the previous episode.
Rechecking the subtitles here, and I think that it is the day after.
Okay, so he's coming at noon today.
Today, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Chili Pepper is like, hey, I'm going to just go to the harbor and wait there and just kill Joseph. And, because he's hiding in the motorcycle battery, when he materializes, he's also just riding the motorcycle. And so he just fucking speeds off with it.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Our mid-title card here is another Morio landmark, the Morio Grand Hotel.
Mm-hmm. And so as Red Hot Chili Pepper is speeding off this bike, they're just in a big old field. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be able to catch up with him.
How fast is Koichi's sweet new bike? Come on.
Right. Because Okuyasu's got history with Chili Pepper here. He's decided he's the one who's going to take him down, and he does the coolest shit.
He demands the ball and then leaps into the air and uses the hand's ability to cut holes in a void in space to teleport. And we've seen him pull things toward him, but now he's just essentially leaping from their little meeting point to the back of the bike.
What he is doing looks like a really incredible traversal mechanic for a video game, basically.
Yes.
Because he's not air dashing, but it's almost that. Because, like, he can't teleport super far, so, like, he jumps into the air and swipes, and he shoots forward really fast, a couple of feet. And so he just keeps swiping at the air until he drags himself onto the bike. It looks so cool.
It's so fucking cool. It's so cool. So he's essentially like standing on the rear of the bike that Chili Pepper is on, and gives him another swipe, and Chili Pepper's like, ah ha ha ha. Your big, like, unbeatable attack only moves at the speed of a human boy's arm. I am electric fast. You will never swipe me.
Yeah. Okuyasu, being actually pretty fucking smart, wasn't swiping for him. He just swiped at the motorcycle to cut the whole front wheel off.
It's the JoJo move. It's always no one ever misses.
Yeah.
Misses come rather rarely, let's say.
Yeah. So this causes the motorcycle to spin out of control and crash. They're out in a big open field with no other sources of electricity. Red Hot Chili Pepper is basically stuck in a very short range of movement because he's tethered to the motorcycle, which can't move anymore.
I mean, he's even depicted as trapped beneath the frame of the bicycle.
Yeah.
There's no reason he has to be. He just kind of is because it's cool.
Yeah.
And so the two of them like lock eyes as Okuyasu looms over Chili Pepper as they're clearly like measuring their next steps. You know, what is the next exchange going to look like?
Yeah. And as this is happening, like, everyone else, the rest of the main gang is like really far behind now because, you know, they can't fucking air dash or whatever. So they're kind of just like trying to run and catch up, but it's going to take a while.
So Okuyasu gives a soulful speech about the wages of sin. That yes, he mourns his brother, but he knew that death would be coming sometime soon. But that doesn't make the weight of it any less heavy. And he's going to tear this stand the fuck apart.
This is like the first really big like Okuyasu bit since we met him, but it's a good bit. Mm-hmm. So he tells Red Hot Chili Pepper, hey, tell me your real name and where you live, and if you do, I'll spare your life. I won't kill the shit out of you. Mm-hmm. And Chili Pepper's just like, wow, damn, I thought you just really wanted to kill the shit out of me. And Okuyasu's just say, hey, actually, I really hope you don't answer so I have an excuse to kill you. Like, Okuyasu is being really calm and collected up until his point where he shows how angry he actually is right now.
So Chili Pepper does, you know, just sort of psych him out enough to zap in, land a hit, but Okuyasu is a tough boy. He can take that hit and counterattacks, stomping Chili Pepper's face into the ground repeatedly.
Yeah, he's just like stomping his face into a crater.
And this is when we see, now that Chili Pepper has been separated from, you know, the battery, he doesn't just move through electricity, he's powered by it, because the more time he spends away from the motorcycle, like his color is fading to this rusty brown, and following that beating, he's just spurting out blood every couple seconds.
Yeah, he's getting like slower and slower like every second with the having less electricity on him. Red Hot Chili Pepper is like in a real bad spot. He's basically on the ground defeated, like breathing heavily. And Jotaro and the gang, as they're still running towards Okuyasu, they're like, hey, don't fucking go in and kill him. Just leave him right there. We're coming. We got to get information from this guy.
We got to ask him about the arrow. The arrow is the eyes on the prize, buddy.
You know, stay cool right now. Know you're pissed off.
And so Chili Pepper asks a simple question. How do you know I'm not faking?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to kill me before I can kill Jotaro while his guard's down? Mm-hmm. Okuyasu becomes a robot crashed by a logic paradox while trying to untangle this bluff.
Yeah.
He does not know how many levels of iocane powder are being are being laid out before him, and he cannot figure it out.
Yeah. This is Chili Pepper's like gambit he's doing here, and it's super successful. Getting in Okuyasu's head is like the number one thing he can do to beat him, especially when it's something like this.
When he makes his decision, he even cries out, "I'm sick of thinking of this."
Yeah.
No more thinking. Don't like it.
Yeah, and so he just goes in for the killing blow. He swipes at Chili Pepper and just cuts him clean in half, across the stomach. And this was a bad move on his part because, like, during the fight earlier, there is a part where Chili Pepper was just on the ground, basically just rolling away from all of the hand swipes. And every time a swipe would miss, it would dig a big, like, ditch into the ground. And so there's several of these, like, leading up to Chili Pepper.
Yeah, it was cool as hell, though.
It was really cool. And so the gang sees Chili Pepper get, cleaved in half, and they're just like, fucking hell, this sucks. Damn it, Okuyasu. And it's revealed, though, that swipe...
That final one, the last one, there wasn't just dirt beneath that patch of grass. That's one of the underground power cables for the town's grid. And so now there's a highway home for Chili Pepper to just zap into.
His power grows with the amount of electricity he's exposed to. So he reveals that, like, I only had like 12 volts to work with from the bike battery. Now I'm, like, hooked up to the fucking town's electrical grid.
So he's super strong. He's super fast. He doesn't run away. He wants to flex in front of Okuyasu and just tears him apart. Literally.
Yeah, there's a little bit here where, the hand is charging at him and Chili Pepper raises just his pinky finger, which has a super sharp claw on it, and he does one of those anime style, you both come at each other and slash at each other, but ooh, who got hurt? And there's a short pause between Okuyasu's arm shoots off his body.
Somehow his sleeve is still intact.
His sleeve's good. A talented little move Chili Pepper's got. So yeah, Okuyasu's all fucked up now. His arm's been chopped off. He's getting grabbed by Chili Pepper, and before he pulls Okuyasu into the electrical grid with him, he's just like, oh, hey, that guy I'm gonna kill, that's Joseph Joestar, right? Okay, see ya. Gonna murder the shit out of him.
See you at noon.
Yeah.
It's a date. Bye.
And he pulls Okuyasu into the electrical cables along with him.
So he's been kidnapped just like his big brother, and we know how this ends.
Yep.
So the rest of the group finally reaches, the site of this confrontation, and Koichi is freaking out. One of their compatriots has just died. Who knows where they're going to find the smoking crater of a body, but it's fucked up. And meanwhile, the past and present JoJo are just like, okay, noon, we should set up like a perimeter. They're down to business, and they do not care. It's all about Joseph's Landing.
Yeah, and Koichi's like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Okuyasu just fucking died. And they're both like...
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they know the solution to this already, so they're not worried about it at all. Josuke just walks over and he's like, man, it's a really good thing Okuyasu got his arm cut off. That's actually the best possible outcome to this fight. And he uses Crazy Diamond, and he just touches Okuyasu's severed arm, which causes, Okuyasu to return to his arm.
The electrified body riding the wires gets zapped out of Chili Pepper's arms, out of the cable, and then just like zoom, back onto his arm.
Yeah, and he's fine.
He's not kidnapped anymore. I was kind of expecting the arm to instead go toward the body, and then they'd like follow it through the streets to wherever
Right.
Chili Pepper HQ is. But
Yeah.
oh well.
There is a very funny reaction, though, of like after Okuyasu gets zapped back out of the power lines, you see Red Hot Chili Pepper in like the void of electricity, just going like, what the fuck? Because he had his arms out in front of him holding Okuyasu, and he's just like gone now.
It's pretty good. So back in the grassy field, Koichi is checking on Okuyasu, seeing if he's, okay, not just physically, but like, hey, you faced down your brother's murderer, and he kind of picked you apart and preyed on some of your worst aspects. How's that? Are you okay, bud? And again, Josuke does not care. Jotaro, oblivious, doesn't even know who this kid is.
Yeah, they're just both already walking towards the harbor.
And Koichi's just like shouting down at them, can't we just talk about our feelings for a second, please?
Yeah. And we cut over to the ship coming into port with Joseph Joestar in it. Mm-hmm. And we've got some Speedwagon guys on there, and he's, just...
Well, according to his hat, he's from Peed Agon.
Yeah, Peed Agon.
That's when Samus has to take a pit stop in Metroid Prime 2.
And so, yeah, the Pete Agon agent is telling Joseph, like, hey, we'll be at Morio, just any minute now. And the episode ends with another behind the back shot of Joseph, who...
This pile of blankets topped with a hat then has a bad cough.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. And yeah, that's the end of episode 11. So what'd you think of these three?
Leaving the chili pepper episode off in the middle kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, because I'm with Koichi here. I think Josuke is acting really out of character. To not being worried about, his friend's physical integrity is part of the Josuke weirdness that is endearing and very much in character, but not caring about his emotional well-being is very unlike Josuke, the most compassionate of the JoJos.
Yeah.
I don't like this. And maybe part 2 does something to soften that blow or to recontextualize it. Like maybe he, his calm breaks and he's like, I'm thinking about my dad. I'm dealing with my own shit right now. And I trust you to deal with Okuyasu.
Yeah.
That could be the case, but without seeing it, I'm just left in this awkward point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen part 2. I can't remember if there is something there with Josuke or not, or if that really was just like a really weird out of character moment.
There is so much I love about Let's Go Eat Some Italian Food. Again, just thinking you're in a stand fight when you're not is so clever and interesting, and there's a lot of fun to be had with it, obviously. But once it gets in your mind, like the people just literally shitting their guts out from like cabbage juice and thinking, oh, that means the toxins are gone. Like, you can't shake that thought. That's what that episode literally is. And it's, I can't like it so much now. It's too real.
Eventually, there's going to be some stand that's just goop, right?
Vitamin C is going to put my cancer in remission. No, it's not. You're hurting yourself. Stop it.
Oh, God. It's hard not to really enjoy Let's Go Eat Some Italian Food. It's one of the best episodes of part 4. Tonio is fun.
Tonio is a lot of fun.
He's not like a major character or anything, but like you'll see more of Tonio eventually.
Imagine if Crazy Diamond didn't have the ability it did. And so anytime these dudes get beat to shit, they have to go buy an Italian meal and deal with Tonio. And Tonio's totally oblivious. He does not know why he keeps attaching people's arms back on.
Yeah. Oh, man. That would be really funny. Or even if it's just like a part where Josuke is out of commission for a bit, so they need a different healer.
Tonio going out in the field on missions.
Yeah.
He's just like making things out of like tree bark and leaves.
I want to know if Tonio's stand powers only work on freshly cooked meals or if you can reheat leftovers.
He would never deign to find out. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Disgusting.
I know Tonio himself would never be like, you eat that whole fucking thing right here. You enjoy it in the fucking restaurant.
Please stop bleeding on my tablecloths.
Yeah. He's really got to switch to red tablecloths. Or I guess if you just get enough people bleeding on your tablecloths, they'll just be red and there you go. Even though his stand are just like a bunch of little guys, I like that they still look really evil.
Yes.
With the little like almost like lamprey mouths, just like a ring of fangs.
And again, very smart move from the localizers to know that like the official English name is Pole Jam. Let's not use the name ever for anything that's dumb and bad.
Yeah. And also, I like the second part of the Yukako two-parter. It's just fun seeing Koichi do stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Koichi grows a lot in his 2 fights. And again, that is presented in his stand, metamorphosizing.
Yeah. I guess this also introduces a new type of stand, the type that evolves like a Digimon.
Oh man, his next form is just going to have Gatling guns.
Yeah, it's just going to be a normal human guy.
With torn jeans and a rocket launcher.
Yeah, torn jeans and like some BDSM gear and guns for arms. Wearing like a blindfold or something probably. I love Digimon designs.
It's so good. It's so good.
I love that Digimon start out as Pokemon and then just turn into like alternative club goers.
But dogs and lizards.
But dogs and lizards. But also sometimes just a hot lady. You know, I don't know. But yeah, with the chili pepper fight starting, we're actually kind of getting fairly close, if I remember correctly, to the kind of like the end of the first arc of the show. Which
means in 2 weeks' time, we are going to have one of our guest discussion episodes. Mm-hmm. And speaking of the future, in order to avoid another episode like this one, or the last one, where we're like, oh man, I can't wait for where it's going to go next, and then not immediately do what happens next.
Yeah.
Next week is only going to be 2 episodes, episodes 12 and 13.
We'll be coming back with Chili Pepper Part 2, and also, we picked up something crazy.
Come on, you can't call things this. You cannot use names like this.
This is JoJo episodes slowly turning into the names of manga titles.
Let's go eat some Italian food. Doctors hate him.
Yeah.
We picked up something crazy invented by a housewife.
Yeah, the weirdest thing about Morio is that it's the home to every insane homeopathy or MLM scam. I mean, we've already got like one con artist with a stand that's useful for conning people. We got to have like someone who is like even more than Tonio is just some crazy ass homeopathy thing.
Yukiko Yamagishi falls in love in another world.
Mm-hmm. When do we get the stand that just isekais people?
Look, Avdol is having wonderful adventures on the other side of the void.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in a very generic JRPG-inspired world right now.
Mm-hmm. With magic arms.
Friends with many different cat girls. It's great.
He built a mansion out of chunks of Dio's mansion that Vanilla Ice kept sending into the void during that fight.
Yep. Maybe he's studying the books to figure out how to get back to his original dimension.
Yes!
There you go.
That's what JoJo Part 9 is going to be, everything that is sent to a void from all these various stands coming back into the real world.
Yeah, JoJo Lands, I think is what it's called. That's the JoJo Land.
That's the JoJo Land. It's where the void sends you.
Oh, man. I would honestly love if there's a Part 9 or whatever thing that did eventually just go like, you know what? Avdol's back. Clawed his way out of that fucking dimension. He actually didn't die.
And there's a whole lot of just garbage that the hand has sent there, too.
Yeah. That would be cool as hell.
Oh, the world started really small, but the more that the hand like swipes just empty space, the bigger the world gets on the other side.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, this reminds me. So, yeah, there is, along with Part 9 being made, a different author who is working on the first official JoJo spin-off manga, which focuses on Josuke and Whole Horse. I have no idea how that's going to play out.
Yeah, what's that relationship going to be? I have no idea. I guess it all depends on the first impression.
Because like Whole Horse never shows up in Part 4. So
he'd be 11 years older.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, who knows how soon after Part 4? He could be 40 years older. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what that's going to be like, because that sounds weird. That is one of the weirdest Part 3 characters to bring over to Josuke, I feel.
Well, there weren't a lot of survivors.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess at this point it could only be Boingo, right?
Pickings were thin, and that would have been cool as shit.
I am always down for more Boingo, honestly.
Adult Boingo being a weirdo around Josuke also being a weirdo?
Yeah.
Hell yes, I want that.
Yeah. Because Boingo has also already hung out with Whole Horse once, maybe he will come back in that manga. I don't know. I'm holding out hope. But yeah, with that fucking game theory of JoJo, I guess we'll see you next week.
See you then, everybody. To be continued.
Later.